Trans liberation will never come from a Conservative government. It's impossible. Their very existence is anti-trans. How the UK is letting down transgender people. Probably the worst parts of being trans in the UK is the impossibility of living a stable life. Many of us are cut off from our families. Many of us are unemployed. Many of us are homeless, and we face violence in the street. We face harassment in the street. In the majority of places in Britain, it's unsafe for a visibly gender non-conforming person to be walking down the street, and it's no wonder that transgender people have such a high suicide rate. 50% of transgender people have attempted suicide in their life. Mental health ravages the community constantly. We are constantly fighting to stay afloat, and the government doesn't care at all. What I want to see is transgender people and allies demanding on the streets that we have access to the fundamental human rights that the rest of the population has. We need access to healthcare, and we need access to safety. I'm honestly quite sceptical about the power of a government to change the lives of transgender people. What we have in the UK is a cultural crisis that is not going to be changed top down. Having said that, there are a few economic and political interventions that a radical Labour government could give. One would be pouring money into trans healthcare and reforming the way that it's done, having trans healthcare democratically run and consulted with trans people, so that it's not simply a management of trans people, a management of who gets to be trans, who doesn't get to transition, all these kinds of things. It's care of the trans community for each other and of the wider community for trans people. If I wanted a piece of legislation from the Conservative Party, I would say legislate yourself out of existence.